fast forward, I put it onto the MLS with, at that point, it had to be some sort of money amount. So I made it the lowest that it could be in that realm. And my phone started ringing off the hook with people literally yelling at me.
Oh,
Like agents, like, hi, I don't work for free. What are you doing? I'm not showing your property unless you offer a commission.
welcome to the Real Estate Replay. I'm Wendy Gilch, an industry outsider here to reveal the hidden practices and explain the processes that can impact your next home purchase or sale. Alongside other industry misfits, we'll call out these poor practices and equip home buyers and sellers with insights they need to protect themselves every step of the way. Welcome back to the Real Estate Replay, where we sift through the chaos and spotlight what really matters for home buyers and sellers. Today's episode is all about the Great Divide, Group A agents versus Group B agents. Is your agent stuck in the past like Group B, or are they paving the way for a better future with new ways to look at real estate commissions like Group A is? We have a special guest, Megan Herr, to unpack the pushback, the drama, and the downright ridiculousness of an industry in transition. So grab your coffee, maybe a stiff drink. It's a little too early for me for that, but wherever you're listening to, maybe it's time for you. And let's dive into the hot mess that is real estate commissions post-settlement. All right, so Megan, welcome to the chaos. Hopefully we stay on track, but as we just discussed, I don't think that's going to happen. So before we get into Group A versus Group B agents, why don't you share a little bit about yourself?
So I got into real estate about 3 years ago. I was in pharmaceuticals for 20 plus years. What kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back was my company was getting bought out. I heard that the manager coming in was a bear. I like to make my own opinions of people, but she lived up to her reputation. So thankfully, I kind of saw what was coming, started my real estate my classes for license. I'm with Remax Ready out of Conshohocken.
How do you say it? Conshohocken?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, probably actually said it better than I do.
What part of the state is that in?
So it is a suburb of Philadelphia.
We're in the same state and I have never heard of it, but that's okay.
We have a lot of odd names around here. And then I opened up a team office up in Royersford, which is a big part of where my market area is. And yes, it's a legal office.
Yeah, we'll get into that one.
But yeah, so I wanted to get into a career. I always loved real estate. I was watching all the $1 million listings from the last 20 years. I knew that's only a sliver of the truth, what you see on TV, but it's something
most people don't ever figure that out, unfortunately, and they think like this is real life, and it's not. It's not. Anyways, go ahead.
It's not glamorous. It's like you're not hosting these open houses where like you get like 100 people showing up and
everyone's eating caviar and sipping champagne. Yeah, no,
exactly. And I just wanted to be able to provide the level of customer service that I think the people and the public and everybody needs, someone in their actual corner without putting the agent's wallet first.
Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned being the bad guy, and this is why I picked you for this specific topic, because we are in a transition with the real estate commission settlement, the lawsuits, like the whole kerfuffle that's been going on for the past year or two. But specifically, there are two groups of real estate agents out there. There is the Group A, who I like to think is being more open-minded about commissions, looking at things a different way, and kind of being a little more transparent and more about negotiation. And then there's Group B, who's holding on to this past system in which some think they're even as a listing agent setting the buy-side commission because it's their choice, not their clients. Just a really, really messy situation right now.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate part is that consumers are kind of in the middle.
Exactly.
Because if you're working with a Group A agent who's doing something different, then the group B agents looking at you and you're like, oh, what's wrong with that seller? That seller's problematic. How dare they not offer a number up front?
Yeah.
And there were a few things I caught. I mean, I catch a lot of shit online. But there's like this obsession with being cooperative, and taking care of the other side.
Yeah.
And so even recently, I've caught agents posting, here's one. It said, I didn't say I'm willing to work for 3%. I said I'm willing to charge you, the seller, 6%. So I can then split my commission with the buyer agent because I choose to. Not correct. It's standard that listings in our area have enough commission to split with the buyer's agent. The other one said, I'm charging my client 6% and will offer the buyer's agent 3%. Without them, I won't succeed in the same way around. So there's this problem with some people looking at how we do commissions differently. And then that group of people, the group B people I just read about, who feel like nothing needs to change. Some go as far as to say the lawsuit was a big hoax. So you've been operating as a Group A agent for a while, even in the rental space before the settlement came through. So can you share the pushback you've received in doing this? Because I know you and I have shared a few stories, but I think it's important for this industry to understand that not everyone's doing things the same way, and the old school group of people are making it much worse for consumers and for people trying to do the right thing. So what is the pushback you've received trying to do things the right way?
So there's a lot of stuff to unpack there, which I'll probably get off on a tangent.
That's okay. I do it every day. It's
as
okay.
well. And hopefully at some point I'll answer the question. But originally going into when the settlement happened, which I am a big fan of the settlement, like I was like, bring it on. Yes, finally. Like
you're getting some complaints to NAR about your name, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly. So even before there, a story from before the settlement actually happened was last year. I sold a rancher in Collegeville, and with the listing appointment that I had with the client, she was like, this is the money from the house is what my mother is going to have to live off of for the rest of her life. I don't want to right out of the gate offer up a buyer agent commission. And she's like, you're the second agent I interviewed. The first agent was like, nope, I'm not doing it. Like, you have to offer X right out of the gate or I'm not doing it. And I was like, oh, okay. So then she saw my stuff on social media and she called me out. We had a conversation. I explained to her the pros and cons of doing it both ways. If anything, my listing appointments are almost 2 hours long because I give people too much information,
right?
So that they can make a clear and educated decision about what path they want to go down. She ended up choosing me because I came into it with an open mind. I never did anything like that before. I went to my broker and he was like, oh yeah, like you're completely within the right to be able to do that. And to me, that client's like that, what that client wanted made sense.
Right.
And I was more than happy to stand behind it. So fast forward, I put it onto the MLS with, at that point, it had to be some sort of money amount. So I made it the lowest that it could be in that realm. And my phone started ringing off the hook with people literally yelling at me.
Oh,
like agents, like, hi, I don't work for free. What are you doing? I'm not showing your property unless you offer a commission. And I even had in the agent comment field call me to discuss why compensation is the way it is. Like, I welcome conversation. I love conversation. I love to talk to people. And you can just get so much more information on A, being nice, and B, just listening to what the other person has to say.
Right.
It's such a simple skill that people just cannot do anymore, and it burns my toast. So I had an agent schedule a showing. They came out, they went over it. He called me. He's like, we're writing up an offer. And I'm like, oh, great. Like, no mention anywhere about the compensation. like not a whatever. So then, which I thought was kind of weird because I literally probably gotten at least 5 phone calls where agents yelled at me. 2 of which put it on a voicemail, which I was like, oh my God, you just recorded yourself steering, but whatever.
Do you have that saved somewhere? Because if not, you could just send it my way. That's love to listen.
I record everything and save.
You and I are everything. In the same world. I have a whole folder and it's called Just in Case. And it's just screenshots after screenshots. Yes. I'm like, yes. You never know when you might need this to back yourself up.
My street, my side of the street is always clean.
Oh, you Swiftie. Are you a Swiftie?
Oh my God, I am. I'm trying to get to Toronto. I just need someone to fly on the plane with me. I buy the ticket to the concert if someone picks up their
right. So we'll get off back talking about Taylor Swift. This is the second time I've talked about Taylor Swift. I need to stop.
That's why people are offended by my social media, because I talk too much about Taylor Swift.
Well, no. If someone has a problem with Taylor Swift, they're just weird. Okay, so the buyer agent puts an offer in.
Exactly. So the buyer agent is like writing up his offer, and I guess he must have got to the commission part of things, because then he calls me and he was like, "What do you mean you're not offering a compensation?" And I'm like, "Oh, finally, you see it."
Can you read? Oh, was it because it was just assumed, right? I felt like
he assumed that he was making X amount. And when he started putting stuff in to write up the offers, when he saw that, you shouldn't assume. And so he called me. He initially started to get really nasty. Like, I don't work for free. I work for a certain amount. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, put it in the offer. And like, we can negotiate it. I said, if it's a good, and I explained to him why my seller didn't want to come out the gate with a set price. She was kind of figuring that with how the condition of the house was, she was going to get a lowball offer, and then she would have to automatically pay someone X amount. And so I told the agent, I said, hey, I'm like, write in what you feel you want. I will go back to my seller. She does know that it's a good idea to offer something. But she really wants to see what the offer is first before she says yes or no.
Right. Which is fair, which is 100% fair, but just did not happen. Like pre-settlement.
That did not happen.
Because of what happened to you. The phone calls, the threats, the voicemails that I hope you can share. Hopefully share them with me. Maybe we can play them at the end for everybody.
Yeah, right.
But that whole situation set it up. So then what happened?
I ended up kind of like talking him like off the ledge. And we ended up settling on something where he was happy, my seller was happy, everybody was happy. And what I did say to my seller was, a lot of people are not going to share the listing. Like, they're going to come up with their own narrative on why they're not going to show the listing.
Yeah, the seller's difficult. That's the one I see most often. Yeah. Why would you deal with someone who doesn't value? What was it? I forget what I saw the other day. It was like, or the latest is, why would you hire a listing agent who can't even negotiate their commission so that everyone's paid, or something stupid like that? I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So that worked out, but that was probably your first taste of
and that was my first taste of knowing how difficult the settlement was going to be. Fast forward to now, it's like I get buyers and sellers, I get investors. I started property management in January. A lot of things these agents cannot wrap their heads around is that with investors and rentals, none of my commissions are exactly the same between landlord A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way down the list. I work with over 30 different landlords, and depending on how big their portfolio is, how much business they give me, is how much my commission is based off of to them. So you have these agents who just assume that I'm getting the quote unquote standard amount, which I'm not. I don't know if
I know,
but everybody knows, and it's not. And they just assume that they're going to get half of what that is. So when I start
so in the rental world, kind of commissions were looked at the same. right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
There's
the
a lot
same
of,
problem exists.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. Just on a lower commission scale.
Right.
And so they just automatically assume they're getting X when they're not. And then I get more text messages, phone calls, like, well, why are you doing this? Like, I literally went toe to toe with another agent over email about how I should be doing it this way, this way, this way, because she's closed over 15 rentals last year. And I said, oh, honey, in a nice way.
So she's
And
upset because you weren't offering something to her upfront.
that, and I wasn't offering what she thought she wanted.
Mm.
And I'm like, if I'm not paying enough for you, then I'm like, you need to have a conversation with your buyer to pick up the accent, like the
Right.
excess. And I'm like, people just cannot talk to their buyer, like their clients, whether it's a tenant or a buyer, like they just cannot have that conversation. And
I think that's part of the good thing about the settlement is that those conversations are being forced to have.
well, I don't
If
think
you're
they
a
actually
realtor,
are happening.
they're not. Oh God. All right. Go into this. Why? What happened?
Well, I mean, I've had people where they're literally with their client behind the back of the vehicle talking about their commission.
What? Wait, what? Like before they go in to look at your home?
Before they even go in, because I won't say anything. I'm like, my landlord and or my seller is willing to offer a compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Like write it into like
Right.
when you submit an application. Like we don't even know if your tenant is getting picked. So I don't know what the big deal is. You're still gonna have to come out and show the property, regardless.
Right.
And so I will get so this particular agent in the text message was when he was asking about compensation, because that's usually always the first thing. It's not anything about the property, what's in it for the client, anything like that. It's always like, oh, I see that I have to make a showing request through you, and what is the compensation? And I'm like, at least try to put your client first.
Yeah.
Like before. And so I'll give them my little canned spiel.
Right.
Oh, well, what are you trying to hide? What are you trying to hide?
There's
Like,
nothing to hide. And
I'm like, there's nothing to hide. You will get paid.
yeah, you have to just ask for it. That's all.
You just gotta ask. Like, don't come at me demanding anything. Nothing is in my listing contract about paying out, like what we're paying out another landlord, or what a landlord is willing to pay.
Because, or even a listing client, correct?
Exactly. Like all of that's blank. Like we just.
And I think that's what these Group B agents don't understand is that, some forward-thinking brokers, like what you're doing and like what James Dwiggins and a few other people are doing is like, we're just not even telling them to put a number down. Yeah. Not that they won't pay anything, but they just want to see, because what you're owed is between you and the buyer. So just ask for it, because you don't know what's in their contract. And so if you put out, so let's say in a listing, 3%, and so the agent's standing behind the car waiting to go into the property, and you're telling them 3%, and they're like, well, shoot, I was going to have them sign for 2.5. I guess I'll just change this and make it 3 now in the agreement. Like, you're just putting your seller at risk of maybe paying more than they needed to. Yeah. But I think the problem goes into, in the past, it was like, it was set, right? It was that I'm going to charge you 6% and we're going to offer 3% to the other side. Yeah. And so these Group B agents think that you're still having your client set a number up front, and they think you're like lying or you're hiding something. Yeah. And the problem with that goes into, I think I sent you this. There was a Coldwell Banker agent in Colorado who said they have a clause in their state contract that lets the agent pretty much steer the buyer away from homes, but it's not steering because the buyer told them so. So it says broker is directed to only show properties that have a compensation offer of at least, and then they can write in whatever they want. Yeah. Now, this agent told me it was a state approved section. And it's not. It's in this section 21 that says anything basically in this section is not state approved.
Yeah.
So Coldwell Banker added this, at least her office, which is really dumb because if this buyer is going up to one of your properties in which you're like, hey, we're open to it, put it in an offer, the broker can say, well, look, they told me I'm not going to be able to show the home unless you're offering this much and like squeeze you.
Yeah.
And it I don't understand why someone would even put that because you're putting a buyer at risk of not seeing a home that might have paid,
Yeah.
which I have some examples too, because this came up in a conversation about, we call it skipping the home and
Yeah.
these stupid things. And there were agents that said, show the house and submit a really good offer with your fees included.
Yeah.
She said, like mine recently, they said they didn't want to pay it until they saw the offer come in and it beat the other offers, including the commission, and they got the offer.
Yeah.
Another one said the same thing. Like, I asked my buyer if they're okay to have me negotiate the commission with the seller, even though they weren't offering anything. They said yes. I went back to the listing agent, told them what the buyer wants, and the seller agreed to pay the commission. So these people that are telling you you don't have to see a home if it's not offering this, it really does the buyer a disservice because you're missing out on homes that probably would have paid depending on your offer. But because you signed this, now they don't have to.
Yeah.
It's like their excuse, right?
Yeah. And it's like, I learned pretty quickly any agent can package up a statement to their client in a way that makes them seem like they're the expert and that the client should be able to trust them.
Right. And you know what? It's funny you say that too, because when I see people talk about this in the Facebook groups or wherever they are, it's always, well, my client told me that they don't want to see homes that aren't offering my commission or more. And I'm thinking like, well, what did you tell your client?
Exactly.
Did you tell them the seller's probably difficult? Did you tell them? And some of them even say, I turn around and tell my seller, hey, you're gonna have to pay me out of pocket.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily true.
No.
And it's not like there's ever a guarantee that an offer is going to be accepted. Like regardless of commission,
Exactly.
your offer is never like awesome. Just give me your paperwork.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like
Yeah.
it's never.
Which is like mind blowing to me that these people will not come out and show a property, whether or not it's a for sale listing or if it's a for rent listing. Everything is still the same than it as it was months ago. Like, you're still showing properties. You don't know if your client's getting picked. Like, so you're still wasting that time and gas money to come show a property. But at that back then and to now, it's not an automatic shoo-in that we're even picking your client. So show the property, what you feel you're owed as a buyer agent compensation, put it into the offer.
Right.
I have yet to have a landlord, a seller, anyone not pay out some sort of a commission. I understand how I've done enough transactions on both sides to be able to intellectually speak and to know what the pros and cons are of everything for everyone. And especially tenants. Like, tenants don't usually have enough money for first, last, and security, which a lot of my landlords require before move-in. Some of them don't, some of them do. But it's like, as soon as you come out of the norm, it's like every agent, a lot of agents,
I know.
Speaking,
you're going to get an email.
I'm going to get an email. Oh my God. Like, there's probably like my picture up on the narwhal.
But the thing is, you're
not
doing
the animal, the nar.
The nar, the realtor wall of troublemakers. I'm sure my picture is very close to yours, so it's okay. But real quick to go back, there was another thing I saw I wanted to read, and it was this agent that said, after explaining all of this to my buyers, the 4 I'm currently working with specifically said to only send them or schedule to see homes where buyer agent compensation is offered at X or higher. Which I'm like, why higher? If what you're getting is what you're getting.
Yeah.
No, I reach out to the listing agents and ask if it's not offered, I don't send it to the buyer or schedule to show it, and just send them a list where it is offered, but it's quote per the buyer's request.
Yeah.
So my question is, what happens if you told your buyer this dream home they like that they're not offering compensation and you signed this clause? So like you told me to skip it, we're going to skip it.
Yeah.
So then the buyer finds out somehow that who did buy that went to see it, requested that commission be paid and got it paid, and they closed, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the buyer's going to turn and be like, "Hey, agent, like, why didn't you tell me that was a possibility?"
Yeah.
Even if the agent did,
Yeah.
it's you versus them, and it's
Yeah.
not going to look good for you if they're going on a Google review like they told me this. We missed out on
Yeah.
a home because they didn't explain it to me.
Yeah.
It's like just show the damn home. I don't
Yeah.
understand why
Yeah.
it's. Oh,
I believe in less is more. Like the less roadblocks as possible.
I want to get to brokers in a minute.
Yeah.
But since we talked about the realtor wall of shame that you and I are both proudly on, I'm sure.
But it's just funny because it's like we're the ones who are really doing what the code of ethics is all about, is putting your clients first, fiduciary first, all of it
Right.
first.
Right.
And it's like we're the ones, and you're not a licensed agent. I am. And I get more pushback and more slack from my fellow agents who they go by the same code of ethics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one who is actually living and breathing it. And I'm the one getting the most darts thrown at me. And I think it's a double standard. I find it interesting to the point where it's almost comical, because I'm the one doing what I signed up to do. What my pocketbook lasts. And if my people want to see it, my people see it. Yeah. I never ask a cooperating or like a buyer agent, or oh my God, a seller agent, right, or a agent who is representing a landlord. I never ask about compensation. Mm-hmm. Never. It never comes up because I don't care. I don't care what they're paying me because I have these conversations already with my people.
Right. And I think, the problem, I think, why some people ask, which is going away, is that commissions were like in a wholesome, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to charge you 6% and we're going to share 3 of it. Mm-hmm. And in the past, if you came as a buyer and you didn't have an agent, like the listing agent just get to keep the whole 6%, right? Yeah. And there's no sellings, there's no savings for the seller. And so now, like, thankfully with newer contracts, like that wording is kind of going away. There are some states, there's some cities in Ohio, which still have it. So people need to be careful.
Yeah.
But the whole commission sharing, like, I don't even understand why those smaller areas would even have that. But it leads me to this story I came across in which this person who posted it probably thinks I'm a psychotic stalker. They posted this on Reddit and it talked about their frustration of trying to do the right thing, not offering compensation up front, but like negotiating it and having a conversation, and the amount of pushback they got simply because they were trying to do what they think is the new way and the right thing to do this appropriately. Yeah. And they couldn't even get support from their broker because another agent in their own office was basically saying like, "Oh, I'll remember this next time I have a listing," or something like that. But they took it personal, like a personal attack that he wasn't offering commission up front. And it has nothing to do with a personal attack and everything to do with just strategizing with your seller. It's not like an insult.
Yeah.
And so that's why, I go back to like how you appreciate your broker. I look at like James Dwiggins, who's really leading people the right way and explaining what this looks like. But then you have people like this poor person who's in a small town, which I have a theory that small towns probably have a bigger issue with this than maybe the bigger ones. Mm-hmm. And he's like, how do I do the right thing if I'm getting basically ousted, right? Yeah. People don't want to work with me. Yep. So it's going to affect my clients. And when I tell my broker about this, he tells me well, that's the way they do their business. And so it's like, well, like, and I asked this person, I was like, you
You're
should,
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
right. And so I messaged this person and I was like, hey, like, you should really report them. And he's like, well, it's my broker. His broker also says he's not showing homes that don't get a commission up front. And he said it's all legal and it's fine because his lawyers for the brokerage told him it's okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, great. Give me his name. I'll report him. Like, what do you want me to do? How
Yeah.
can I help
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
I blew up a ton of things. And this person never wrote me back because they probably think I'm a psycho. So if you're listening and that's you, I swear I'm a nice person. I was just
I
trying to
know
help
people
you.
think I am so mean, and I'm not. I am the nice. I am literally paying a portion of a tenant's rent, cell phone bill, like all of this electricity,
Mhm.
so that she doesn't get evicted from her current place because she's 85 years old and her social security doesn't make enough money to support her,
Mhm.
and she takes care of her 21-year-old grandson who is has some learning disabilities,
Mhm.
and she has to work full time, and she got let go of her job because she was having medical issues, which is to be expected at like
80. Yeah. Yeah.
85-ish years old.
Yeah.
And people will I look back, I just like sit back and I'm like, I am not a mean person.
Yeah.
Like,
But you're getting reported like you are.
but
You're getting,
I'm being portrayed as the villain. I'm being portrayed as someone who is not flexible.
Mhm.
Um,
But
when
I think that's the big problem is you are being flexible with the person paying you to do your job. You're doing the right thing by the person that hired you. It's
Yeah,
not about taking care of the person who's going to negotiate against them. Like, and
yeah,
that mentality is just has got to go away. Like, you're working for the person that hired you,
yeah.
right? It's not about being friends. And there's like really, really big agents on TikTok who
Mhm.
make posts like, oh yeah, all my sellers are still offering 2.5%.
Yeah.
And I always do cooperative compensation. I don't play those games. And I'm
They
like,
want the path of least resistance because at the end of the day, it's easier for them.
yep, yep,
I don't take the easy road.
right.
And that's what's making my business like, I think last year, I think I sold 2 years in was last year. I think I sold 8 houses maybe.
Mhm.
This year I'm up to like 13, 14 possibly.
Right. Just because you're
And
doing the right thing and you're leading with focusing just on what's right for your client,
exactly.
not the
And
other side, not the and just I don't know. And I don't know how NAR fixes that, but it
well, I think NAR fixes it by just cut it off. Just buyers just pay their own representation, like because these agents cannot help themselves to not keep themselves out of trouble, and if they're looking at me and what I do and what as a bad thing,
mhm,
it just kind of goes to show you how many agents are still out there in the world looking out for themselves as number one,
right.
because if they're thinking what I do is the problem, then
Even though what you're doing is the way post
is the
settlement
way
that you
it
should be
should
doing
be
it.
done,
Right.
because it puts the client at the forefront and their needs and wants first before my needs and wants.
Right.
And it's like looked down and frowned upon, and
Yeah.
I think NAR just needs to get away from it. I
I just,
think
I mean, I'll say this because you probably can't. Because the last time I had someone on to talk about NAR, they got a letter within like a week saying to retract their statement. So I'll say it. You don't have to. It's just my opinion. But, you know, they were telling people up front that they're going to fight this and they're going to win. And at that same time, we're behind doors negotiating a settlement, right? So you misled people from the beginning about what was going to happen, right? So then you come to the settlement in their first big video with, I forget who did it. I think it was Kevin. I don't remember. It was like, hey, we're no longer going to have commissions on the MLS. But then it was like a wink, wink. I'm sure you guys will figure out how to find it. And I was like, well, so like nothing changed. Like the way I feel like maybe they were too afraid to say what you should really do because then everybody would leave. And
Yeah.
you know how much they need those membership fees, because it's like millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And so, and it's interesting because like they settled, right? So who's left? Individual brokers who end up continuing to do the same thing to get in trouble again. Like it's
Yeah.
just, you
Yeah.
know,
It's like I get where NAR's coming from and I get the good that they do. And I love being to have my designation as being a realtor because I think it definitely separates and makes you someone who clients can trust if you're doing it
the
the
right way.
correct way.
Right.
I wish the reporting system. I wish there was some like I wish there were some changes
Yeah. Oh,
that.
I don't disagree with you. I reported someone, there's an agent in Massachusetts who's had like lawsuits against them outside of court. One of them signed an NDA, so they couldn't tell me too much, but from what they did tell me was enough that someone should have lost their license, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And so this person is a very big problem. They were in the media again last year for something that was pretty sketchy. Wasn't able to be proven in court, but two witnesses were able to validate what this person did. And I found out that this person this year is over exaggerating and not being truthful about how many homes they've closed, this past year. So like completely misleading, false advertising. A bunch of different agents in the area are like, this person is not even being truthful. Like their business is awful. Here's the reasons why.
Well, a lot of these agents, if they're on a team, will use their team
Yeah.
closings as their own
Yeah.
listings.
But even adding up all of her team listings, like, and I had different
Yeah.
people send me reports way off, like at least off by 20 homes. And so I went on this state place to report her, and it wasn't very clear, like where it's like fill out this form. And I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
where is this form? Why can't I just like press a button? So I emailed someone head up and was like, hey, like, just as an FYI, here's what this agent's doing. They have a very problematic history. You might want to look into this. And I also said, hey, you might want to make it a little bit easier for consumers to navigate like submitting a complaint because I don't think it was clear. And they wrote me back and they're like, we've never had anyone complain that it's hard to submit a complaint. And we don't really look at this false advertising, blah, 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 even though it's in the, like, there was a whole section in the ethics code of like
Yeah.
why this is not okay.
Yeah.
And just completely brushed me off. And I was like, here you have a problematic agent with multiple lawsuits against them, still doing business. I give you one piece of information that could at least help you diminish them and like get them out because they're part of your bad reputation. And you do nothing. And instead you're mad at me because I told you your reporting system could be more consumer friendly, like insulted that I said that
Yeah.
and never got back to me. And then that's even something minor. Like what happens with the bigger stuff?
Yeah.
I just, or even for an agent to report another agent without anyone knowing or being able to do it safely, or punishing people who report people for something that wasn't wrong. Because you get a ton of shit from, for just not putting commission up front and being able to negotiate it. And I appreciate it. And I get messages every week like, you should look into this, or like, I'm really frustrated because I'm not getting supported and this and that. So like, I'm not surprised and I appreciate people, but like, hey, go on Real Estate Mastermind on the Facebook. And every day there's people on there talking about like things that are so far against the settlement, so far against it. I don't understand how dumb you have to be to A, continue to do that activity, but B, to just proudly post it. Like to just be like, yeah, no, this is my commission. And if I choose to share it, I'm going to share it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Why?
They don't. And a lot of it comes back to the broker not doing their licensees. Like they're not, if you got your license, okay, bye, go out and make me some money.
Yep. And I have a theory on this, just total opinion theory. I think that for so long, consumers were told that buyer agents are free. Why wouldn't you use one? Like it's free, go use one. I mean, up until 2 years ago when the DOJ was like, stop it, please stop. Did NAR put rules in place to say, stop saying that?
My broker even said going through his classes, like after I got licensed, I met with him for a year straight, every week for a year, for an hour. We went over everything, anything. And he said, never say free.
Mm-hmm.
Like that should never come up in your marketing. That should never come up in anything you like
Right.
you say to
Right.
like no one is free, nothing is free. Like
Right.
free never comes from your mouth.
Yeah. And there are still agents on TikTok that like will say free or they'll hint to it. Right.
Yeah.
So we did this big disservice to buyers to say like, hey, we're free, use me, don't worry about it. And so I don't think that buyers had a really big expectation of like what their agent should be doing, right? Like, well, it's free, I'll use them, I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
And then you have this gluttony of agents that come in that aren't trained, that aren't meeting with their broker every week and really don't offer a service that's worth anything close to what they got paid. Not everybody, but some of them.
Yeah.
And so now you're like, post settlement, oh, just
Yeah.
kidding. Like, we're not free. Here's what we cost. And consumers are like, well, I didn't get that service. Like, you didn't do that. I didn't get that when I bought a home. Like, my service was awful. And that's not everybody.
Yeah.
But there was never an education of like what a true buyer agent with a fiduciary duty was going to do for you.
Yeah.
And now you're just expecting consumers and buyers to grab it right now. Like, they're putting out talking points of 150 things that a buyer agent does. And I'm like, you have to prove that. And your past history for some people doesn't show that.
Yeah.
It doesn't just change overnight and your reputation's already been tanking. So like, how are you going? I don't know how they solve that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my theory. I was like, you spent so much time saying you're free. People associated your value to essentially like getting a buy one, get one coupon, right? Like, oh, I'll get it. It's free. And now you want to tell them it's not free. And it's like a percentage. It comes to thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And well, wait a minute. Like, what are you doing for that?
Yeah. And you got to really drive home your value. And it's like, these clients are not going to want to pay you to show them houses. And then as soon as you get something out off, like under contract, you're like, okay, now I'm going to turn you over to my transaction. And
I'm going to charge you for it. I'm going to charge you a $450 fee for a transaction coordinator.
Yeah.
That's really hired to help me make more business. But here's a fee for you. But
it's like, and with how I do it, I'm still the number one point of contact. I started a team, and which I had to do in order to get a team office, but we still work as solo agents. It's like a singular point of contact from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
I never am one of those agents that during escrow sit back, I'm showing up to anything and everything that I can be a part of. I will meet with like home inspectors or with appraisers, and when they come out to photograph the property.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll always ask them, because I'm curious, how many agents show up to this? Because they'll usually look at me and be like, oh, like you're here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it's going to be easier for you if I show up. I know where the HVAC system is. I know where the leak was, like what it's easier for everyone if the listing agent, whoever is familiar with the property, shows up.
Right. And I think that's the point of like hiring. Let's be realistic.
Hiring you.
Right. Because you can do things yourself. So hiring an agent is really like, if you have no clue what you're doing, you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right. And so then they hire you because they don't want to deal with any of this shit.
Yeah.
And you show up, but sometimes that's not the case. And they're still dealing with the shit. And then they're like, well, why am I paying you if I'm the one doing all this when like I hired you so I don't have to deal with it? It's, I don't know. So let's switch gears because I want to talk about buyers really quick. So we have Group A agents who are like leading the right way and changing and evolving with the industry. And then Group B who don't want to change, who are putting clauses in their contract to skip the home, all of that bullshit. And so my question to you is, what should buyers be asking when interviewing agents to make sure they're working with an agent who understands the process? So what do you ask to find a Group A agent?
If I could say like one thing to the general public is to really do your research on your agents. Interview more than one. See what people are offering, because at the end of the day, everyone is a salesperson. There are some brokerage houses that are more opt to feed you scripts and what you should say. And so you have these agents, in my opinion, who recite the same old thing. They can make anything seem like it is in their client's best interest. They can package anything to make it seem like that dual agency is the best. Pick me because I'm the best and I'm going to work hard and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Right. And you don't want to work with someone who's not offering a commission right out of the gate.
Oh, like, so I think that's the best question is like,
you can package anything in any way to make you sound amazing. And the client is, okay, I'll go with you. They sign on the dotted line. And then that's when the truth comes out.
So it's almost like one of the best questions I think should be is, hey, while you're interviewing them, so what happens if we get to a home and we're not really sure if they're offering commission or not? What do we do? And if they tell you we can skip that if we can't get an answer, I would just run to somebody else. Like end of discussion.
Yeah.
Move on.
A lot of people don't know that they can do that.
Yeah. They probably
because they're not getting told that.
Yeah. It can be just negotiate it like any other point in the process. You negotiate it.
Everything with real estate can be negotiated.
Right. But, if they come on that Group B agent and they say, well, if they're not offering, then you'd have to pay me. So if you want, we can put it in the contract that we just skip those homes, which is pretty much probably what the Coldwell Banker person was doing because it's literally in their contract.
Yeah.
To basically steer them away from homes, but it's legit because the buyer told me so.
Yeah, and you said it before. What are they telling you to make that sound legit?
Right. And it's so frustrating. It is
frustrating. I did a deal recently where I was the seller agent, and during my listing, I say the pros and cons of offering a commission up front, and I offer the pros and cons of waiting to negotiate, like waiting until offers come in and negotiate what agents want. And the majority of my, if not all, they're like, well, yeah, like it makes sense to just have everyone negotiate.
Right.
And
that's all they wanted. Like that's really all in this settlement. There's so many conspiracy theories. I've heard one person say, oh, these lawsuits came up because the government wants to take away women's jobs. I heard another one. It's just, there's so many.
There's so much mixed messaging and everyone has an opinion about it and everyone thinks that they have the right opinion about it.
It's so frustrating. It sounds like it comes down to like NAR's not, in my opinion, like leading positive change, somewhat out of fear because they don't want to upset the apple cart. But like, it really comes down to your broker. And if your broker is in the Group B who doesn't want to change, like you should probably leave and find someone who sits in Group A because I can't fathom that you're going to tell your seller, this is what you should offer because this is standard. Like you shouldn't, even if you have a seller that wants to offer something, like if you're an agent telling them what they should offer to the other side, I feel like that's very risky because you're falling into that. Like, well, here's what everyone else charges, or you live in Minnesota and every single freaking buyer's agent in Minneapolis charges 2.7%. Like that's going to come to a head.
What needs to happen, in my opinion, is that they put the hammer down and agents are still showing up with unsigned listing contracts or unsigned buyer agency contracts. They're still doing it in the rental side of things. They're still doing it on the buying side of things. And I just think that they think they're not going to get caught. And
well, and you think about it, like NAR said, hey, we're going to make all these changes. And then they turned around and went to the MLS and literally said, like, Godspeed, it's your problem. Now you enforce it.
I don't want to say it's mixed messaging, but they really didn't everything was up to someone's own interpretation.
Yeah.
Which does honestly not
if they should have been blunt from the beginning, but I don't think they did because they were afraid everyone would leave. They should have been very more forward about what you could do.
It should have been, it needs to be, when you don't put stuff in black and white, you open it up to a whole lot of gray.
And here we are now.
Well, yeah, and you have bad brokers and you have amazing brokers, and the bad brokers are going to perceive it as their own type of gray, and you have the good brokers who are going to perceive it as their type of gray, and then you're going to have the agents, like the licensees, take what they're being fed and putting their feelings to it, which are gray. And so you have the blind leading the blind, leading the blind. And then you have the people who get it because they have a good broker and they're trying to really give people the tools and the knowledge to make these decisions. And then you're getting labeled as like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because you're doing things with the best gray that you have.
You're on like the safe part of gray.
I'm on the safe part of gray.
Right. Some other people are like hanging out on the rain cloud, and I don't know what's going to happen to them. Okay, so let's wrap it up. One thing that you think buyers or sellers should know as they look into maybe jumping into buying or selling within the next year?
Interview more than one agent.
Oh, good Lord, please, please.
Interview, I think I should be in one of the agents you call to interview.
And if you live in the Coshahawken, I can't remember how you say it now. Conshohocken.
Yes.
That's a lot. That's a mouthful. Sorry to anyone that lives there. I'll get it right at some point, but so go ahead.
Oh, you Pittsburghians.
I know. I don't say yins. I don't say warsh. I don't talk like them, but I also can't. Yeah. I can't embrace other things. So, okay. So interview people.
But interview a lot of other agents. I will not be offended if as I'm walking out the door, someone else is walking in.
That's business. I mean,
it's business. It's real estate. And you need to look at reviews.
Different places too.
Yeah. I've had clients actually ask for references of previous sellers and or buyers. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll give people every single transaction I've ever done. You got to do your due diligence on the agent you're going to pick.
Right.
You can't fall for their marketing. Anybody can sell themselves to anything,
right,
for any reason, and they can make anything look good. Ask for the facts.
Right. And I think it's worth saying too, if you're interviewing someone on the team, I think you need to ask them, like, who am I going to be working with? Because there are some teams that send their heavy hitter who puts all the homes under their name and gets you to sign with them. And then you won't see them again, maybe until the closing table. You will work with everybody else but them. And most of those people might not have anywhere near the experience that the beginning person claimed to have. So
they land the listing and then you're pawned off on the system.
Yep. And then when you're talking to them about commission, if they're telling you to skip a home, pass on them, skip them instead. And as a listing, if you're looking for someone to list your home, I think it's really important that they explain to you how things can be negotiated versus telling you. If they're telling you, I charge 3% and we charge the buyer agent, we charge you 3% for that as well. Like just run. Just run. I mean, it's just not. If they're not showing you something that you want to see and they're giving excuses, run. Be done. Yeah. No, in my opinion, there is no reason for a buyer agent or a tenant agent giving you an excuse as to why you cannot see a property. And if the excuse is commission, run. Exactly. That's not technically true either. Oh, yeah, God, we can go on forever. All right, we'll do a part 2 and we'll just talk about all your emails and stuff that you get. And I'll share some of mine too.
Yay.
Because we get a lot of fan mail,
Oh yeah.
unfortunately for me and you. Okay. Thank you for, oh, I'm yawning. Good Lord. And an hour and a half later, here we are.
I know, right?
Well, thank you for sharing, and we'll
Yeah.
do a part 2
Okay.
and maybe dive more into, because I don't talk about the rental side of thing a
Yeah.
lot. And I
And that's
think,
the people that get screwed the most is
yeah,
these tenants.
right. And I think it's important that people understand that this whole commission thing, really, the same situations occur in the rental world in
Yeah.
a lot of places,
Yeah. Yeah.
about what's being offered, what's not, and how that works.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. And if anybody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way? I know you're on Selling Later, but what other ways?
Yeah. Either email or texting.
Okay. And I'll put it in the
Yeah.
podcast script too, so people have it.
Have a story or a question you want to share? Hit us up at therealestatereplay.com.